Hey, Mr. D here. Welcome to a new video where I'm going to talk about something that I think a lot of people are kind of arguing about, which is which side should lead in the golf swing. And there is people that are saying this is the left side, this is the right side, and so on. And so this is what I'm going to talk about. First, we are going to see about why a lot of people are talking that the left side is actually better, and also then we are going to talk about the other aspect, the right side dominant, and there is a lot of subtleties, and maybe you think that the left side is better, but when you are hearing that Rory McIlroy is leading with the right side, well, it's not being that bad. And so in the end I'm going to show you to share with you my point of view, what I think is the best way to go about it. So let's start with the first part, the left side, which if you are left-handed is going to be the right side. So this is basically the dominant side of the golf swing. And why does it work? Because a lot of people say, okay, no, this is the left side, you should do like this. Phil Mickelson, which is the right-handed, which is playing the golf as left-handed, as this dominant side of his that he is using, and that allows him to play well. People are saying that this is a better and simpler way. And actually, yes, there is a good point, because the golf swing is primarily a pendular motion where you're just driving the club through the ball, and this is the key, because the most important part of the golf swing is the hitting area. And during this time, where always before, at and after impact, what you want is actually to pull the club with the grip, pull the club face through the ball, through impact. And to do that, this is easier to do with the lead arm, the left arm for the right-handed, as I said, and the right arm for the left-handed, because you're pulling the grip, which is pulling the club face and hitting the ball. The pulling motion, or generally speaking, more stable motion, and allow you to be more consistent. This is as simple as that. And so you're going to say, okay, so if it's what you want, if it's during impact, we want to pull the club through impact to stabilize the club face and hitting the ball with a solid contact, why bother? Well, okay, so the right side is not useful. So why Rory McIlroy is saying that he's using his right side dominant and still is able to hit the golf ball really well, I dare to say. And this is simply because we need to distinguish there is two parts in the right side dominant players, where in the left side, in the lead arm dominant player, when I talked about earlier, we don't really make a distinction between the upper body and the lower body. This is primarily you are pushing with your left leg into the ground and you are pulling with your left arm through the ball. So this is the upper and the lower body are working in sync, where in the when you're right side dominant in your golf swing, you need to really separate the upper body motion from the lower body motion. And this is the main difference between the pros and the amateurs, because the pros are going to actually use their right leg, right hip to drive and keep the upper body very quiet, and so the lower body, the right leg, the right hip is pulling the upper body. And so this is so the pulling motion that we were talking about earlier, which is with the arm, now happen more with the lower body. And so a right side dominant player that is playing well is generally speaking more lower body driven, because if it's upper body that drive, and this is right side dominant, you're doing the mistake that a lot of golfers are doing, a lot of amateurs golfers are doing, which is going over the top, because you're pushing that way. And so this doesn't work. This is simply that doesn't work because but it's not that it doesn't work. It's just you're arriving towards the ball with a pushing motion, and the pushing motion is a less stable motion to have through impact. And the good player are actually using their right hip, right leg to drive the lower body, which is going to drive the upper body, then it's going to pull on the club and so on. And when you are doing that, you need to keep the upper body very quiet. And so we have those two. What is going to... So I'm going to give you my take on which one is better and what I think you should do. What you should do is use both. What I mean by that is the two way of doing have two different advantage, inconvenient, or if you know which side you need to use, you also need to understand. If you know which side is dominant for you and you want to stay in that, you need to understand also what are the implications of that. So a left side dominant player is going to hit the ball down a lot more because by pulling the arm in front of the body with the left arm, this is going to drive the arm much forward in your upper body. So when you are turning your body and you're at impact, the ends are going to be extremely forward. So this is going to be a motion that is helping you to hit down on the ball, compress the ball more, and so on. So this is really good with short iron and wedges and so on. But this is not very efficient with the driver, with the woods and so on, because with those clubs, what you want is actually having the club coming more from the inside to hit at a neutral angle of attack or even a slight upward angle of attack. And this is why having a right side dominant at this point with the lower body help drive the club inside. And so if you want an example, you have, I would guess, so the main example is going to be Phil Mickelson and Rory McIlroy. Phil Mickelson is right-handed, so it's naturally lead side dominant, which is going to make him hit down on the ball, compress enormously the ball, and this is a key element of his game that we know. And on the opposite side, you have Rory McIlroy, which is right side dominant, using his lower body, which drives the club much more from the inside, which helps him with the longer clubs, especially the driver. That's why Phil Mickelson is an absolutely awesome wedge player and Rory McIlroy an awesome driver. But because they are not using both, they are both. Phil Mickelson is struggling with the driver and Rory McIlroy is struggling with the wedges. Even though he's getting a lot more better currently, but even he's saying that his swing that he has with the driver and with the wedges and with the irons is not exactly the same. So that's maybe why it's working on that. But anyway, so this is actually what I do. Now that I understood that, I try to actually not necessarily be more left side dominant, but really trying to let my arm work more to compress the ball more and hit down more with the shorter iron, especially the wedges. Where actually with the driver, I'm trying to drive my lower body forward with my right hip, right leg, in order to bring the club much more from the inside. And with the driver, I go even further. I'm pushing my right hip through impact to even bring the club even more from the inside so I can hit up on the ball more easy. So this is my take on which one is better, right side, left side. As I said, that's not better, that's just some key characteristics that you're going to have in your ball flight, in the way you hit the ball, if you're doing one or the other, and knowing that if you're lacking more than one and not doing the other, of course you're going to have a struggle in one part or the other part of your golf system, either the driver or either the wedges. So If you want to be balanced, you need to do both. If you don't like to do both, well, you need to find solution for the weak area of your game. So thanks you for watching, and I see you next time.